Goeiedag en welkom. Welcome to my February book haul. Here I will show you in a little bit of a different way which books I got in February, because the lighting and the weather does not help me to go sit down and show you the books and talk about them in more detail, but I can show them to you like this. This book I got because I got the first two parts in the trilogy already. I read it already as well, next to listening to the audiobook, and both were really, really good. And then the second book on this row is a thriller, The Last Days of Night. And I only know it's a thriller because it's still in the thriller section of my bookstore. It does not have a premise or a summary at the back, so I don't know really what it is about, but the book cover as well as the title really appealed to me, so I just took it with me. Then this is one of the first books I got in the beginning of the month. It's called The Resurrectionist, and it turned out to be a little bit different than what I thought it was. Maybe I will go more into depth in my wrap-up. Then here we have a German book and a Dutch book. The right one is the Dutch book, and I have been wanting to read it for years, ever since it got mentioned or so in a Dutch class. So I'm really curious what it will hold. And the other one is a German lesbian romance, which really appeals to me as well. Then we get here two English YA novels, The Wish Granter and Every Heart a Doorway. Every Heart a Doorway I already read, and The Wish Granter ended up in my TBR for March. I don't know if I will be able to read it, but it's on there. Then we got an adult thriller and V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic. She herself made me actually really enthused to try and read A Darker Shade of Magic. And the last one is just another thriller I came across in a bookstore. This one had a premise on the back, and it is talking about that I believe the female or the male in here takes place in the television show, and the last one standing wins something, but I'm not sure. And I don't really want to know anymore, because when I read it, it appealed to me and I wanted to read the book, but it is a thriller, so going into it as blind as possible is probably the best thing. Then next to here we have another two adult books, The Night Circus. I read Caraval and I did not really enjoy it, but since it got compared to The Night Circus a lot, I was curious what that book entailed, and I bought it. Started to read it, and I actually really like it now. It has way more of the magical vibe that I was expecting Caraval to have. Way better written characters in my opinion, and also way more depth in the story and the world building, which was also lacking in my opinion in Caraval. But then again, I only rated that book like 2 stars because, well, you have to watch my review for that. And then we have The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, because I read The Muse a couple of months ago. I really enjoyed that book, and I was curious for her other book, and I wanted to read that one, so I will hopefully the upcoming month. So as you've already heard me say, several of those books ended up on my March TBR. If you want to know which ones of those, I will be uploading a TBR as well. I do not keep strict to my TBRs because I want to have a little bit of room to wiggle with what I actually have lust for reading, what I want to read, instead of just reading what I set up myself to read in the first place. But yeah, this is it for now. This was my book haul. En tot de keer!